Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the Bottled Happiness stamp set bundle, and it's one of the new ones from the current annual catalog that just kicked off ordering today. So I'm excited to show this and excited to let you take a peek at this bundle if you haven't seen it already. And if you haven't ordered it already, just order it because you're going to love it. Trust me on that. So, all right. So this is the card we're making, and I'm hoping that I'm sort of centered on the screen. I don't know. Like I said, it's always difficult for me to tell. So at least till things get started. Hey, Karen, thanks for hopping in. So I'm going to flip the punch over so you can see it a little bit better. I know there's a bad glare on it when I have the lights on, and so you can hardly tell what it is. But so this is a little card, and it's a little shaker card, which is fun. There are these little beads in here, and they are called effervescent elements, and they kind of look like little bubbles, so they're kind of cool. They're little, I don't know, effervescent, I guess. So it's a fun little card and a fun stamp set bundle to play with. So this is the stamp set, so it's called Bottled Happiness. Like I said, this is the image that you can punch out with a coordinating vintage bottle punch. And like I said, it's bundled together. You save 10% in the catalog, and it's a cute set. Good sentiments in it, some fun images in it. I love the little shorter bottle is kind of cute too. I'm sure that, I don't know if it would punch out. You could probably sort of make it work, but I don't think these two, it wouldn't punch very easily and cleanly, this image, but you could probably maneuver it around and punch it a couple different times in the punch and make it work, but I don't think you'd be real happy with it. But it does punch this image quite nicely. So, all right, and I'll show you, we're going to do the two-step stamping on the card today, so I'll show you how those two work together. All right, so again, this is the vintage bottle punch, and we will be playing with that in just a minute as well. And the other couple things that I used on this, I used the Happiness Abounds stamp set for this sentiment. I used the Congratulations sentiment, which, there's a big glare on it right there. So this is another one of the new stamp sets, and it's actually bundled with some dies that we're not playing with today, but it's bundled with some dies in the annual catalog. So we'll be using a sentiment from there. I see Karen hopped in. I ignored over the index. Okay, so Bernice is here, and Rosie's giving me a hard time. It says, did the magnet in your index finger hit the overnight button this morning? Perhaps it did, not once, but twice. So I ordered, and then I realized that the magnetic plate, the new magnetic die cutting plate, was available to order, and I didn't realize it was available to order, and so I totally missed it in the catalog. And so then I, of course, had to come up with like a whole stack of other things to order, because you don't want to just order the magnetic plates. So yes, I put in 2 orders, and I may have accidentally hit the overnight button twice. Don't tell. All right. Hey, Pam and Carol, thanks for hopping in. All right. A couple other things we used on this is I did use the stitched rectangle dies, which I use on almost all my cards. If you don't have this die set, just get it. So, and we're using the second to the largest one, just to cut around the background of this. And you forgot to order the, okay, so it wasn't just me. I totally didn't even realize that it was there. I mean, I don't know how I missed it, but I totally missed it. But I was glad that I happened to hit the overnight button, so it'll be here tomorrow too. So, all right. I also used the Timber 3D embossing folder, and I embossed the little piece of cardstock that is here, which again, you may not be able to see it very well in the video, but hopefully you can. In the blog post tomorrow, you'll see that, to make it look a little bit more like a wood grain table. Before we get started, lots of awesome things going on. Of course, the new catalog ordering started today, so yay for that. Stampin' Up! Also started their new starter kit promotion, where you get a bunch of free, $66 worth of free in-color products if you purchase the starter kit during the month of May, between now and the end of May. So you get grid paper, you get the ink pads, you get cardstock, you get designer series paper, all in the new in colors, and it's $66.50 worth of merchandise that they're going to add into your starter kit. Starter kit is $99. You pay tax. Shipping is free. Tax, if that applies in your area, I should say, because I know not every state has tax on it. And you get to pick $125 worth of whatever merchandise you would like in your starter kit. Then again, you're going to get the free product, the free in-color products from Stampin' Up!, and you're going to get some free business supplies and catalogs, a free paper pumpkin kit, and free shipping. So it's a great deal. There is no requirement to order anything, no requirement to sell anything to anyone. You can just be a happy stamper and getting the discount for yourself. So let me know if you have questions about that. We'd love to have you come join the team. If you have a kind of a big wish list, which most of us do at a new catalog, this is a great time to join. So hop in and join us. You ordered the magnetic plate. I know, I'm excited, Carol. I can't wait either. So hopefully it works really nicely. I'm excited to give it a try. So, okay. So because it's a new catalog kickoff time, I'm also offering a double reward point ordering bonus. So any orders that are placed through me through Tuesday, May 10th, you're going to get double reward points. And you may be asking, well, Amy, what in the world are double reward points? What are reward points? It's my customer thank yous. So for every order of $50 or greater, you start to earn reward points. And when you collect 8 reward points, you get a free $40 order of your choice from me. So my reward points are called running shoe reward points, and people just call them, how many shoes do I have? So anyhow, so that's just my customer reward program. So it's like a frequent buyer program with me. If you have questions about it, let me know. And then final thing, Stampin' Up! Announced late yesterday that they have a new card kit available that is called A Million Thanks. And it's thank you cards, which are nice, and they're pretty. There are 9 thank you cards in this. It's in the kits collection. Anyone can order it. It's out on the online store, Stampin' Up! Online store. And again, kits collection, just go find that, and you will find this kit out there. It's $21. I accidentally put $19, which it is not. It is $21 for this kit, and it makes 9 cards with envelopes, and that's kind of a steal. If you go buy cards in the store, you know how expensive they are. So, and it's got everything included, stamp set, block, ink, everything you need to create these beautiful cards. So let me know if you have questions. The details are on my blog today, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I will also provide it in what I link up to this, to the blog post tomorrow morning for this video. The details will also be out there for all of that stuff that I'm offering as well. All right, so let's get going. I'll stop yapping now. To start with, my original card is a top fold card, just because that's my favorite kind. But I'm doing a side fold card to show you that you can do it either way. So I've got fresh freesia cardstock. This is cut to 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. My original card is 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5.5. Same size card front, just a little different card base. Hey, you're Carol. Thanks for hopping in today. And I have some of the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 pack, and again, it's a new cardstock. And I'm having a hard time gluing the lemons down because the lemons actually are some of my favorite prints in this, but the lemons didn't quite go with the card I was doing today. The fresh freesia did. So I had to suck it up and glue down the fresh freesia instead of the lemons. So, but it's a really cute pack of Designer Series paper. And again, it's in the annual catalog and available to order today. So this piece is cut to about 4 1/4 by 5.5. All the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow. And again, I will link up the blog post in this video so that you can go right over to it if you have questions about the card or want to see it in more detail, or see the cardstock cuts or anything. You can check that all out tomorrow on my blog. All right, just using a little multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere the 2 pieces together. And then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is, I don't even know, it's this is about 5 1/4 by 4.5, and it was just a random leftover piece that I had after cutting a few other things off of it. So it's just a, as long as it's big enough for the die cut, that's the main thing. So it doesn't need to be a huge piece of basic white cardstock, but probably about 1/4 of a sheet. And I started actually by punching the bottle out first, because this punch only goes so far onto the paper. So you'll see in a second why I did it this way. But anyhow, so I'm sliding it all the way down to the bottom, and again, roughly centering it. I've got it cut much wider than what I need it, and I'm sliding it down to the bottom of the punch where it's solidly sitting on the bottom. Whoop, there we go, almost punched it crazy. And then I'm just punching it with the vintage bottle punch. And then I'm going to do my stamping next, and I have got fresh freesia for the little flower bouquet. And again, this is from the Bottled Happiness stamp set, and it is a photopolymer, so it's easy to stamp with. I say that, of course, before I do my stamping. I shouldn't say it's easy to stamp with till I'm all done, and then I'm like, oh, that was so easy. So, all right, it is really easy to line up. I will say that, especially it's easier when you're not looking through the camera like I am, but even looking through the camera, it's not terrible to line up. So I'm stamping the fresh freesia image up above the bottle. And then I'm going to close up the fresh freesia ink pad before I accidentally stick my fingers in that. And then the second image from the Bottled Happiness stamp set is a whole bunch of leaves and kind of flower centers and things, little, I don't know, leaves, I guess. And I'm going to stamp that in Parakeet Party, which is one of the new in colors. And it's actually, I love this color. I love all the new in colors, but I really, the blues, the 2 shades of blue and the green, well, 3 shades of blue, I guess I should say, not even 2. There are 3 shades of blue. They're definitely my favorite. All right, so here we go. This is the fun part. Again, when you're looking through a camera, it looks a little different than when you're right over the top of it stamping. So I'm actually going to try to get it lined up through the camera for you and show you that you can do it, even though I'm struggling a little. There we go. I think I got it reasonably centered on there. There we go. Wasn't too terrible. And so that is the kind of the main focal image. So it's super simple. It's just 2 stamps and one on top of the other. Really easy to do. Then I took my second largest of these stitched rectangle dies and I just placed it around the die cut. Obviously I wanted as much of the flowers to show as possible and also wanted it to be scooted down as close to the bottom as I could without actually having it hang off the bottom. Now obviously I didn't want that look because I wanted it to still have the, kind of the clean cut edge on it. But I did kind of slide it down, tried to center it, and tried to make sure that my greens and flowers are all in the die cut. So hopefully you can see that in there, and I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine. So, oh, thanks, Pam. It's such an easy stamp set to use, and it is a really pretty image. So, all right. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine over here. And then come back with, there we go. Kind of a cleanly cut image. And you don't have to do the die cutting on it. I just found it to be, sometimes I think things are lined up straight and then they're not. And so die cutting usually saves the day for me because I can move the die around as needed to make sure that things are lined up. So that's why I do a lot of die cutting, is because I can't stamp straight. So, all right, so we've got that part done. The next thing that I did, if I can find it, is I've got a piece of crumb cake cardstock. And again, I embossed this ahead of time. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide and it's probably 4 1/4 long. Again, you definitely want it to be oversized. And I'll show you again, why I did that in a second. But got this embossed with the Timber 3D embossing folder. And then I took the little vintage bottle punch and I'm just going to slide this in. And again, roughly center it. Slide it all the way down to the bottom where it sits solidly on the punch. And then roughly center it. And then punch it out. And that went flying straight up at the screen, didn't it? Sorry. That was kind of exciting. All right. So the reason that I did that is so that I would have the ability to slide it around and maneuver it around here to make sure that it fits and is centered. If I had cut it exactly the same size, then I would have had to punch it exactly correctly in order to get it to work. So that's why I did it this way around. There may be an easier way, but for me, this was the easiest way that I could figure out how to make it happen. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of, actually I'm going to take Stampin' Seal, I think. A little Stampin' Seal to run it here on the sides of the basic white panel. And again, I know I've got about 3/4 of an inch to play with here, so I don't need to be terribly worried about, getting it way up here or too high or whatever. So as long as you keep it down near the bottom, you'll be fine. And I'm just going to take my piece of crumb cake cardstock and I'm going to, again, line it up. Hopefully get it on here fairly straight and not overhanging like I just did there. So I'm not pressing it down just yet until I can flip it over and make sure that I have everything. There we go, that's lined up much better. So I have it lined up here in the opening and I know that I'm reasonably straight on the card front. And then I'm just going to adhere it down. And then I'm just going to trim off the edges even. So that's all. All right, oh, I almost dropped my snips. So there we go. Just going to take that, snip it off here, and take this one and snip it off here. And it looks like we're a little crookedy, which if it looks terrible, you can grab your paper trimmer and zip it off at the bottom. Let me put it on the card front and see what I think. I'm not sure that it's going to be too noticeable. I think we're all right. I think it's fairly straight on there. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's fairly straight. So again, if you need to, you can take your paper trimmers and trim it off there at the bottom if you feel like it needs it. But if not, good enough, close enough. All right, next thing I did was stamped the sentiment on here, and the sentiment I stamped in Orchid Oasis ink, and the sentiment again is from the Happiness Abound stamp set, and just gonna ink it up and hold my breath a little bit and hope that I get it stamped on here fairly straight and fairly nicely. All right, I think that worked out reasonably well, and got our sentiment on there. Now comes the fun part. We get to fill up the little bottle, the little vintage bottle. So these come in a pack of 10, and it's this tiny little box with this tiny little writing on it, and it says Vintage Bottle Shaker Domes. And again, these are in the new catalog. Hey, Julie, thanks for hopping in. So, and these actually have adhesive on the front and on the back, which is awesome if you're doing the shaker type cards, because it makes it much easier to fill them when you can stick it on both sides. So this just peels off like a sticker. And then you're just going to slide the little vintage bottle right into the opening that you've punched and give it a little press around there to make sure that it is sealed down, but it's self-adhesive, so it's pretty easy to use. So yay, the shaker's almost done. All right. The next thing I did was grab some of the effervescent elements. And again, these just look like little bubbles. They're really cute. And I'm just going to grab a couple pinches of these and try to contain them in the shaker and not have them pour all over the place. I don't grab too big of a handful because I did that the first time, and I sort of was chasing little effervescent dots all over my stamp room floor because these roll quite nicely as well. I found that out. So if you like to, you know, chase things around, or your kids do, or your dog does, yeah, they'll fall everywhere. All right, so I've got the shaker pieces inside the card. And then I'm going to take it and peel off the backing on here. And I have cut a little piece of basic white cardstock, and it measures about 2 by about 3 inches. And again, it doesn't have to be exactly that, as long as it covers the whole thing. That's the only thing that really matters. And we're just going to take that and then press it into place. Give it a quick squeeze to make sure that everything is good, and then flip it over, and that's all there is to make in the shaker. So they're super simple to make. And again, I love the little bubbles in it. I think they're just really cute. All right, so the shaker is all done. I'm just going to use a little bit of, we'll use liquid glue on it. And again, you can either use liquid glue or seal, whatever you prefer. The seal, the only issue is because it's kind of a lumpy card, you may have a little trouble getting the seal to apply really easily on it, but you can definitely do it because I think I did it on my original one. Take it and flip it over and put it here on the card front and try to get it adhered reasonably straight. That's the one nice thing about the liquid glue. As much as I dislike and gripe about it, it is nice to be able to have that little second of wiggly to make sure that you have everything in the spot where you want it to be before it's stuck down forever. All right, we're almost done with the card front. So you would have to put this in a padded mailer, like a bubble envelope. There's no way you could mail it with a regular envelope. It's too thick. It's probably, I mean, maybe not quite a ½ inch thick. I'll stand it up. I don't know how well you can see that on there, but it's definitely too thick to mail it. So in a regular envelope anyway, unless you found some way to really smash it down, but I don't think you'd be able to. I don't think the post office would even take it. You'd have to put it into one of the bubble mailers and mail it. So the last thing that I added on the card front is that we've got the 2022 to 2024 in color matte decorative dots, and I grabbed one of the little tiny ones that are in the Orchid Oasis and have it stuck, maybe. Yep, there we go. And I stuck it right down here next to the sentiment. Oh, and I guess there's one more thing. I almost forgot my bow. So we have this pretty ribbon, new ribbon in all the new in colors, and it is or this one is Orchid Oasis, and it is 1/8 inch metallic woven ribbon is the name of it. So I'm just going to make a little bow, and I'm going to do my little bunny-eared bow. So I've got my 2 little loops, cross them over, tuck it through, maybe, if my fingers will work, there we go, and pull the bow ends, and then kind of straighten it out and give it another little tug, and kind of straighten the ends, make it be as long as I want the bow to be. And again, we can always trim it off. It's a little hard to add to it, so that's why I usually leave my ribbon, if it's possible, attached to the spool until I get everything done, so that I can then chop it off at whatever length I need it, rather than trying to maneuver it and make it be longer when it's not, or retying it. So, all right, so got the mini glue dots. Oh, thanks, Carol. I'm glad you're liking it. And Julie and Pam, thanks so much for your nice comments. It's sort of a case out of the catalog, actually. I found the basic design there. I just made a couple little changes to make it more what I wanted it to be. So, all right, so I've got a little glue dot, and I'm rolling it up, and I'm going to stick it here on the little neck of the bottle. Tucking it in there, and then I'm going to take my bow and we're just going to stick it right over the top of it, and I'm going to smoosh it down so that it covers the whole glue dot, and then I'm just going to trim up the ends a little bit, hopefully. There we go. And that's going to be it for the card front. So at least once I get the end trimmed here, there we go, that's better. So that's it. Got my little shaker card. Lots of fun, really cute, super easy to do. So all done. On the inside of the card, it's pretty simple as well. I wanted it to continue to be a congratulations card, obviously, because I'm actually going to send it to one of my nieces for graduation. So hopefully they're not listening. All right. So I've got the sentiment from the Bottled Happiness stamp set in Orchid Oasis ink, and it's the Overflowing with Happiness image that I'm going to be stamping here. And I'm going to put this, I've got basic white cardstock, and I'm going to try to get it somewhat centered, and just stamping it. All right, and I think we got it reasonably straight. So love the effervescent. They're really cute, and I love that it's kind of, I don't know, they're almost like iridescent looking. So I thought they went really nicely with the purple. They'd look really good with pinks and blues and yellows. So they kind of have that iridescent look to them. So they're very cute. All right, let me grab my Stampin' Seal. That's what I was looking for, and I'm going to run a little bit of that across the bottom of the card. Stock panel, again, this is basic white, cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. And another little piece of the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. And just going to line it up here on the bottom and hopefully get it stuck on straight. Use my paper snips to trim it off on the edge here. And adhere it to the inside, and we're going to be all done with the card today. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you need a copy of the new catalog. So it's, like I said, it's open for ordering today, and I'm excited. Don't forget, I have double points through Tuesday. Don't forget about the joining special. So if you're interested in joining, we would love to have you come join our team. It's a lot of fun, and get the discount for yourself. So, all right, just adhering that with a little Stampin' Seal to the inside of the card. And then I'm going to grab my bone folder and give it a quick crease along the edge. And we're all done for today. All right, there you go. That's it. Shaker card done in like 10 minutes. So, all right. So thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll plan to be live on my YouTube channel around 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, Eastern time. And then I'll plan to be live back here again around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. In the meantime, again, if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Drop by my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com, to find out all the latest happenings. And let me know if you have questions. I'm always happy to help. So, all right, talk to you all soon.